NUKEDUCK's Echo. A lot of the time he's just throwing out parallel conversions, and either behind a tower, he steps up, it pushes people back, he chips the damage down. We saw a lot of that right at the end, and there's actually very clean play around the inhibitors. But even before that, with the Baron setups, NUKEDUCK was just, he was in his element in this game, really.
Yeah, let's take a look at that replay around Baron, which was very crucial to Vitality's advancement in this game.
And I just keep your eyes on what NUKEDUCK does, right? Because as a mid lane assassin, you have to be exceptionally patient at, and he's just waiting. He's buying time in order to get onto the priority targets. And by forcing all of this, all of the defense and the peel onto NAEHYUN, it then just allows NUKEDUCK to say, okay, well, now I'm just going to kill your AD carry. And it's just this fantastic target focus that we're constantly seeing from NUKEDUCK. And he is a player that we have highlighted throughout the regular season, and it's just worth highlighting in this game in particular how much of an impact he really did have.
Good play from NUKEDUCK. STEELBACK, that was a long-range arrow that hit into that fight. I mean, you're throwing it into like 10 people and saying like it's likely to hit somebody, but sets up. NUKEDUCK is able to then throw down the parallel convergence. Everything jumps on top. And Vitality, you gotta say whether it's HACHANI or whether it's a placebo effect.
Yeah, we don't know, right?
Whatever it is, another week on Vitality. It's clear Vitality are showing us they are at least a 4th spot in the group team. Like, they can just easily deal with a lot of what Origin.
I think that HACHANI's return is a positive thing for the team. The big question mark I have is, in my opinion, Origin are not a good enough squad to punish the aggression and the overextension that we're seeing from HACHANI. So moving forward throughout the rest of the remaining Group B play, I think that we will see whether or not HACHANI has grown as a player or if it's still the same HACHANI.
Is he enough to get at least one series win for Vitality?
No, because I think there's also a lot of overarching issues.
That might not be needed in the end. But
I think there are overarching, the fact that they weren't able to probably utilize their win conditions in the mid game. They literally just grouped up mid when they did not want to do that. And the fact that they forced a lot of fights that they didn't necessarily need to. There were many instances where I think that there's still communication to be worked on. There are still issues within the team that while HACHANI is definitely a step in the right direction, he needs to fix his individual mistakes.
How much of that is though like the mimicking of you're playing versus a team like Origin, who is also not making the most proactive moves in the world, and the fact that it is they haven't played for HACHANI for a while, right? So this is the first time again that they're playing with him.
I think on this one, like, Origin weren't offering too much, so I don't think it's necessarily mimicking, but I kind of want to loop back to what you were mentioning about one game, because it's worth quantifying it for people that are watching, thinking about Vitality's fate. So with this win, putting a win on Vitality's board and a loss on Origin's board, either one more win for Vitality or one more loss for Origin secures 4th and 5th spot in Group B. Vitality would be 4th, Origin would be 5th. So, you know, there's still a lot of games still to be played. Vitality, if they earn that win against a team like Splice, they can seal it for themselves, but certainly that's...
And even if they both not win, obviously the situation stays the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that might be more.
So basically the win today was great for Vitality.
I mean, that's the bottom line. They had to beat OG. They did it 2-0. So good for them. And NUKEDUCK Player of the Series stepped up as well. And for that, Pyra is standing by with our Player of the Series.
Thank you very much, Shoxin. NUKEDUCK, fantastic play. You really popped off, man. I wanted to ask you about bringing back HACHANI, though, because this guy honestly looked like a very different kind of player. How's it been like playing back with him again?
It's good to play with HACHANI because he can shot call and he can play like aggressive and initiate, and a good initiating player is something we like desperately need in our team, because if we don't have that, we just kind of do nothing. So yeah, HACHANI is a great addition to us again.
So was he not doing that earlier on in the split when you guys didn't seem to have as much direction? Has he like developed this over the last couple of weeks?
No, but he knows English a bit better now, so he has a bit easier time to communicate with us, and also the other people play better now, so it's easier for HACHANI to do something, because before we played completely different from how he wanted to play, so it was hard for him to even like have that big of an impact. But yeah, he had like sleeping problems, so he had a hard time focusing, and he would get really frustrated because he said he was barely sleeping at nights, but apparently he fixed that in Korea, so yeah, he's back in full force now.
Wow, and what a difference it makes. I'm glad to hear he's doing a lot better. I want to talk about your play, though. Let's shift things up. You played Vladimir in game number 1. We haven't seen a lot of it in EU. It was Fnatic last week that played a game of it. Do you think Vlad's starting to come back into the meta?
Yeah, Vlad is definitely coming back in the meta. I think he's going to be within a week. I think he will be almost 100% big ban. He just has like he can one-shot anyone at level 6 now. I don't know why nobody figured out before, but if you take Ignite, the enemy mid can barely even come to the lane, because after 7, you can just flash one-shot him, and with Storm Raider, he can't even run away. So, and teamfight's obviously great too. So yeah, overall, I think he's actually OP now.
Okay, well, we'll see if that prediction comes through. And a couple weeks ahead for you guys, it's going to be really telling. You're looking fairly safe in that 4th place spot, but there's still a chance, albeit small, that you can eke into playoffs. How confident are you that you guys could maybe make that happen?
I mean, first of all, we would have to win all our games, and Splice would have to lose all their games, perhaps?
Something like that.
Yeah, so it's not like super realistic or anything at this point. But of course, we're going to like try to the bitter end to make it to playoffs, but our chances are realistically pretty small.
All right, well, best of luck to you in it regardless. And for that, we are going to go ahead and toss it off to a break. Don't go anywhere, because Fnatic and Rocket, they're coming up next.